A biopic on an Irish hip-hop group. Now that is something different and something you don't see released in USA cinemas every day. So you know what? I gave it a chance. What did I think about it? Let's talk about it. When fate brings Belfast teacher JJ into the orbit of self-confessed low-life scum, Naoise and Liam, the needle drops on hip-hop act like no other. Rapping in their native Irish, they lead a movement to save their mother tongue. The film stars all three rappers and also Josie Walker, Simone Kirby, and Michael Fassbender, and was directed by Peppiatt, and this is his directorial debut. Kneecap. Now, I did see a trailer for this in the theaters a couple times, and my first thought was an Irish rap group. Now, that's something different, and you don't see this every day. Count me intrigued, and I thought this was a unique premise. So, starting off with just this rap group, obviously named Kneecap, you have three individuals here. You have DJ Prove, also named JJ. He is a teacher at an Irish school. You have Liam and you have Naoise. Now, Liam and Naoise, they are both drug dealers. So right off the bat, I would say they're kind of unlikable. They're doing something that is not really productive in society, but at the same time, they're underdogs because they're dealing with a lot of political turmoil in Belfast, specifically with the fact of Irish language being forbidden. And in their songs, they are having Irish rap. So because they're doing this, this is really putting off the government. You have JJ, who is also in the band. He wears the ski mask, which it is the colors of the Ireland flag, which is very unique. But he wears this mask mainly because he doesn't want the school to know that he's actually doing this, because there are times where he actually moons the crowd. They're taking drugs, they're drinking, they're really exciting the crowd. You're looking at this high octane film that is very fast paced, it's very quirky, it's very cartoony at parts. You have parts in here where you have, the different guys doing different shenanigans to piss off people. You have this group that is going after them that are really against drugs. They're getting beat up by these guys. So you have them on their trail, and you also have the government on their trail as well. So you have a lot of different things really going on. I did like the stylistic choices here. I like the cartoony vibe, obviously. There's certain scenes where they'll have a door slamming when you watch Roadrunner, and then the dust kind of kicks up. You have little stuff like that. If you ever watch Harold and Kumar, there is a stop animation type of clay animation type thing where they do include that when they actually get high, which is very unique. I really did like that style. It is in subtitles. It's mainly in Irish form. It is a little bit in English as well when Michael Fassbender comes on screen, but it's mostly in Irish language. When they're rapping, they all have the subtitles on there, in which it has a cartoony vibe to it as well. Besides the stylistic choices, the beats of the rap here is actually pretty fun. It had me bobbing my head. I can't say that I really related to the lyrics. A lot of it is about Irish politics, and I do think that a lot of the lyrics here for people that are outside of Ireland, maybe it doesn't really pertain to them, and the fact that most of it is in Irish language, I can't understand what they're saying anyway, despite the fact that they do have these subtitles on there, even when you go listen to their music on the regular, because I did check it out after watching this film. It is mainly in Irish language, so I can't understand any of it anyway, but I think the beats do get you actually going, bobbing your head and such like that. Now, there are some side stories in here, and I don't think all of them really play out fully, and I think some of them are waste of time, and I honestly don't know if they're even true, to be honest. Now you have JJ, who has a wife here, and they have different opposite views on certain things that are going on in their career. Now that isn't really explored that much. We just see one scene in which they have some differences, in which they don't really explore that too much. Then you have Liam, who has sex with this girl, in which they have different opposite political views, and apparently they have wild sex together, in which we do see a few of those scenes, but it really doesn't go anywhere as far as their relationship, because it's just mainly about sex to them. Then you have Naoise, who has Michael Fassbender as his father here, in which he has been absent most of the time, mainly because he apparently had some type of bomb that he used, in which it pissed off the government, and so he faked his own death, in which he comes back later, in which I don't really think it really helps the story any. And again, I don't know if that's true because I don't know this group, or their real life story. Though I did look them up and I did see that they have 2 albums. They just released a new one and they had another one that was in 2017. This takes place in 2019. Now, I think because there isn't a lot of story with their career so far, because they mainly seem like they're just in Ireland. I don't know if they're really like a widely known Irish group. I don't think they are. I think because they have such a small sample of their career, I think that's why a lot of these side plots kind of filled the story. Like, even though there is a little bit of creativity in how they actually show their music and they have a few of their concerts, I do think that the movie is very uneven. And the reason why I say that is because by the time we get into their concerts, yeah, it's really fun, crazy. You have audience that are going nuts. They have about maybe 3 or 4 concerts in which obviously they're just in Ireland. They're not touring. We don't really see a lot of their creativity on how they create the music. There's like a few scenes where like they're recording in a garage, and there's another scene where they're at the school and they're recording the album. But other than that, we don't really see a whole lot. We do see the government not really taking into the account of their music, and then we see a radio station that actually censors them, in which certain things like that, I definitely understood that whole part. But I think them as a group, they don't have a lot of a story to really make a full narrative of a movie. So I think in one aspect, a lot of this movie kind of builds up to them getting to doing this rapping and then making the album, in which we just see a few concerts. And then the other half of it is mainly like other things, like a shenanigans of like the group that is coming after them, like the people that are against drugs, and then obviously different like political activists that are against them. It focuses a lot on that rather than I think the music itself. And I think the music itself, it's there to a point, but I don't really think it's something where we're really following them to a T as far as like their whole biography and we know everything about them. I felt like, again, this feels kind of like a Bob Marley, where I have to look up more about them because I don't feel like I know a ton about them. It's a very vulgar film. It has a lot of filthy language in it, language that YouTube would not allow me to say, and definitely they would censor me if I did repeat some of the words that are actually in this film. But I think overall as a narrative, like I said, it's a very uneven narrative. It does have a lot of shenanigans and jokes to really be had, in which I saw this with an audience of about 5 or 6 people. I had a couple that were sitting in the back and the one guy was laughing hysterically. So maybe this will resonate with Americans and maybe they will just love this humor. I do think at times it is kind of funny, but I do think at times as well with the fact that these 2 guys really aren't that great of people because they are drug dealers. I can't say that I was fully invested all the way with this story. I think they have some pretty good beats, but overall they're not a band that I'm going to follow their career or really see what they come out with next, or really listen to them on the regular. It's interesting that they come from a country that has different political views and how they don't really want them to use the Irish language in rap music and how they try to censor their music. It's very interesting because here in America, we talk about a lot of the stuff that they're talking about in their music all the time, and we treat them like heroes. I mean, they'll go to jail, do drugs and everything. They'll go to jail, they'll come back out. We'll treat them like a hero again. So it's just totally opposite here in America compared to people like that in Ireland that are doing this kind of same thing, talk about drugs, sex, all that kind of thing. Whereas here, it's not even frowned upon. It seems like it's on the regular all the time. So it's very interesting to compare and contrast. I'm not sure if this is something in Ireland where it's still going on and maybe this kind of music is not really accepted. Definitely if you live in Ireland and you know about this, comment and let me know, because I'm very curious to see, if this is still going on or if this is something that just is back when and now they're kind of coming around to it. That definitely would be something very interesting to me. But overall, as far as a score for this movie, I would give it a 2.5 out of 5. I think overall it was fine as a one-time watch. It definitely kept me intrigued at times. The beats had me bopping my head. I felt like it was funny at times and it had some interesting stylistic choices, though I'm just not sure with this being a first-time director if this was the film that he should have directed first, mainly because, again, there's a lot of side stories that really distract the full-on narrative of the music, in which I think because they've had such a short career, that's why the structure of this movie is kind of uneven overall, and just like the story overall is just kind of okay. It isn't something that I'm like, yeah, I gotta hurry up and watch this again. It was fine for a one-time watch, and I could say that if it comes to streaming, check it out once. Definitely, it has an interesting kind of premise to it. And it's obviously interesting to watch something that is from a different country and just like their political perspectives compared to ours here in America. So on that front, I would say check it out once just to see how it really is. But if you have seen this film, let me know in the comments. What did you guys think about it? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you think it was just kind of meh? And if you haven't checked it out, are you going to check it out on streaming or VOD, or are you going to skip it altogether? Thank you guys for watching as always, and I will see you guys next time.